Hello, everybody. This is Brad and Brandon from Garden Church, and we just wanted to pop on real quickly for an important announcement that we have about Garden Church. Coming up here in June, the next couple of weeks, we'll be hitting our 3-year mark, which doesn't sound like it's a very long time. But Brandon and I were discussing lately and doing some prayer, and we have actually, though Garden Church is pretty young, Brandon and I have both been in ministry positions for several years more than that. And we went right from our old positions into the Garden Church plant. And so lately we've just been kind of checking out Garden Church and checking out our own hearts and looking at our schedules. And we've decided that right now is probably a really good time for us to take a break from ministry. Not in any kind of permanent way, but just to take a couple of months to refocus ourselves on what the Lord has in store for Garden Church, kind of recalibrate our hearts for worship. And, we're kind of here still working a little bit of our way through the pandemic. So we're still online a lot. Our building lease is actually ending here, coming up on our 3rd year anniversary. So it's just a really good time, seasonally and personally, for us to, take that time and make sure that we are on a fresh path for what God has in store. And so with that being said, we're going to take the rest of the year off from Garden Church, and we're going to take that time to worship together, worship with our families offline, and just spend some time in prayer, really trying to focus in on what God has in store for Garden Church. And we might come back and look exactly the same. We might come back and look different. We don't know exactly what God's going to do, but our plan right now is to take off the next couple of months and come back refreshed, renewed for a Christmas Eve service in December. And we're just hoping that God's going to do some really cool stuff in our hearts over the next couple of months. So if you have anything you want to add to that, but
yeah, part of the benefit of having the kind of church that we have is that we can do this kind of thing, and we're all still family. We're all still connected with each other. Just because we aren't going to be meeting on a Sunday morning or a Saturday night for a service doesn't mean that we're not still Garden Church and we're not still family. Me and Brad want to make sure that when we show up on Sunday mornings, that our hearts are in the right place to deliver God's word to everybody. And we want to make sure that we're in a good place to be able to do that, because we don't want to lead anybody in the wrong direction because we're not in a place, in the place that we need to be. And every pastor, from mega church down to, 2 or 3 people meeting in a living room, need to take breaks.
Yeah.
Jesus had to take breaks. He had to walk away sometimes and go up on the mountain and just get alone with God so that he could refocus and make sure he was in the will of God. And that's what we need to do to make sure we're leading properly. So it's just important for everyone to know that, Garden Church isn't going away. The family isn't breaking up. We are still here for you guys. And I just want to make sure that everyone knows that.
Yeah. And we're just hoping that this pandemic finally ends this year so that we can all get back to exactly the way we envision Garden Church, unless God, gives us something different in the next couple months. And so to us, it was just a really good time to do it. It'd be kind of silly for us to keep pushing through and then wait until January to be like, oh, we're a little tired.
Yeah.
And then take a break there. So, and like Brandon just said, Garden Church is not going anywhere. We're not quitting. We're not breaking up. We're still a legal entity. We're still Garden Church. And we're going to come back and be Garden Church again, starting on that Christmas Eve service. So don't forget about us. Don't stop praying for us. And hopefully you join us again when we come back.
And if you need anything in the meantime, we are still here for you. So
we'll still be checking out social media and stuff. And
don't